When you're doing a recovery, you have a few things that is in play. One, the vehicle pulling you, if they don't have good traction, they have to get some momentum, like a run up, and they have to get momentum and then tug you out of the hole or the rut that you're stuck in. When doing that, if the rope doesn't have any stretch in it, it's going to yank very hard on your vehicle, on your recovery points, and something might give, something might break. But a 12-ton rope means this rope breaks at 12 tons. Your vehicle weighs about 2.5 ton. You can go up to 4.5, maybe a 5-ton vehicle max with this rope. So it's very versatile. Some people might study a thinner rope, like an 8-ton rope or 6-ton rope. The problem is when you're doing a kinetic recovery in sand or mud, the heavier vehicle in the recovery has to be taken into account. You might have a light vehicle, it doesn't weigh much, it's stuck in the sand, and this big vehicle with lots of power comes by. You're dug in deep. He doesn't know that. He hooks you up and he just goes. He's got a lot more momentum. He might break your rope or something else. So that's why we standardized on the 12-ton rope for most 4x4 vehicles. In our recovery kits, we always pair them with a fuse soft shackle. I'll explain to you now. So typically you get metal shackles to connect a rope or to your tow point on the vehicle, that metal D shackles. We move away from that. We now only use rope shackles. This one is rated at 7.5 tons. It actually breaks close to about 10 tons plus minus. And the idea is that this soft shackle, you connect your rope to your recovery point on your bumper or on your vehicle. You just push it through and you close the knot. The reason we call this a fuse soft shackle, and not many people do this, this is something that we decided we want to do, and I'll explain now why. This will break before this rope breaks. Now when you're doing a recovery, in extreme cases, something's going to give. When you reach the maximum breaking point of the towing of the vehicle or the rope, what's going to break first? Do you want your vehicle to break? The recovery point to break? Do you want your expensive recovery rope to break? Or do you want your consumable, the soft shackle, to break first? So in our case, we say if you want to mitigate your risk and say, I would rather have the shackle break before the mounting of my vehicle breaks, then you use the soft shackle, the fuse soft shackle. It's still very, very strong, but provided that you have a rated recovery point that is decent, stronger than, let's say, a 12 to 15 ton braking strength, then this will give before the rope or the metal mounting does. Reason why you want that to happen, besides protecting the rope and your vehicle, if your recovery point breaks, you have a piece of metal that will shoot towards the other vehicle. This will still, might dent the other vehicle, might still break the other vehicle's window, but you have a piece of rope that shoots back and not a piece of metal that shoots back. So it's a bit of a safer option. When you're setting up your system, you need a stronger soft shackle. We have the 18-ton soft shackle. It's a lot thicker, a lot stronger, and in this case, this will last. The rope will break first, or your recovery point might break first. So we use these when we want to make a connection that mustn't be fused. It must be a solid connection. Then we use an 18-ton soft shackle. Now in a kit, you get various options. There's lots of gear you can throw in a kit, but at the minimum, you need a rope and 2 soft shackles. One to connect to your vehicle, one to connect the rope to the other vehicle. That said, if you have a vehicle where you don't have, like Marcus's rated recovery points, rated meaning there is a sticker on it that tells you this will break at 15 tons or 12 tons or 20 tons, then we use a bridle. The bridle is we have a compact bridle. It breaks about 15 tons or more, and the idea of the bridle is to spread the load between your 2 recovery points on the front. So you have these 2 points. You can use a fuse shackle if you want to. I just use whichever shackle I have available. Connect them to the 2 recovery points on your vehicle in the front, and then it creates like a triangle. And what this does is it spreads the load. So you don't have all the force pulling on the one side. You now have the load spread between the 2 points. But also, which is important, it pulls the vehicle in a straight line, because the rope is now centered in the middle. As soon as you tow or get recovered from only on the one side, your wheels will be pulled out of the track, so you lose traction. and you don't want that. What you can do also, you can hook a fuse shackle between the bridle and the rope as well. Just sling it around like that. So on your vehicle you're going to have this tied down, and you have that connected. So then you can still have a fuse between your bridle and your recovery rope. Now this nylon rope can stretch 30 to 35%, maybe 40% in some cases, which is a lot. That's a lot of stretch. With a lot of stretch also comes a lot of danger. So with kinetic recoveries, I think Francois will talk about that, about how to position yourself, how to stay clear of the ropes, because if something does break, it's a lot of force that's in that rope, and you want to stay clear of that. But it is in nature. You always have to be aware that if something does give, what could happen and how can we keep it as safe as possible. So less is always more, which means even before doing kinetic recovery, we can tell you about the gear and everything, but always make sure, he's going to explain that again, but dig out in front of your wheels, make sure there's no obstruction. You want to pull as soft as possible. One last thing, the kinetic rope, Francois will explain that as well. There are some principles you have to keep in mind when using it. If you use it in an improper manner, it can cause a lot of damage to you or to your vehicle. But it is the most effective way of doing a recovery in sand. It allows the vehicle to gain some momentum, and what happens is the rope also does some of the work. And people don't realize that. Your vehicle weighs about 2.5 tons, so you have a vehicle that's stuck, you take 5 meters, you gain some momentum, you pull on the rope, and the weight of the vehicle pulls forward and the rope will stretch. But what happens when it stretches? It wants to shrink back again. So you have the force of the rope shrinking. It's also helping to tug on that vehicle along with the momentum of the vehicle and the engine driving forward. So your pulling capacity, your pulling power is a lot more with a kinetic rope than when you're using a static rope. We have the Rassie's nut, which we showed you earlier. This is what they typically look like. The Rassie's nut, the only reason we did this, there's other products on the market out there that is all metal, all aluminum, but they're quite heavy and it's bulky. It's heavy in your vehicle. Tinus, he didn't like I have the metal block from another competitor that I actually use, and Tinus didn't like that, so he came up with the idea of putting a bushing with a soft shackle. This is a 26-ton soft shackle. It's plenty strong. Most of those metal recovery hitches you buy, they break at 16 tons. So this is stronger than that. And what this bushing does is it spreads the load. Now we talked earlier about the pin in some of the tow bars. So this spreads the load evenly across that pin. So your weak point at that stage is either the pin or the tow bar on the vehicle. But in all cases it is our own responsibility to know the limits of our vehicle and how strong our mountings are. And if you don't know, then you go and find out so that you at least know what you're looking at.
This is the main rope, the one that you've got. This is the snatch rope. There's the bridle. 2 fuses.
At its strongest when you have it in the corner where the knot is. Alright? If you do it like this, this will pull tight and this knot will bend over backwards and pinch the rope. Where if you do it in the corner, now in this case, what will happen? This will pull forward, so it will pull on the knot. Okay?
Keep it close.
But if I swap it around to the other corner, now it's got a 90 degree, this rope, it's got 90 degrees to the knot, which is even better, putting it like that. Now in this case you can feel, it doesn't have a sharp corner from laser cutting. It is chamfered, not a lot.
No, but it's smooth.
But it won't cut through it easily.